Hi, and welcome once again to Tsar Event's Russian Survival Guide. I'm Maya Krivchenia, your hostess, American mezzo-soprano, here at the Yusupov Palace on the river Moika. This palace is filled with lots of history and interesting tales. The Yusupov family was one of the richest families in all of Russia. In fact, they had more money than the Tsars. We're now in the Parada Nekomata. Here is one of the rooms that were public to the people of Yusupov's time. Here, the Yusupovs family would welcome guests, and they could listen to music or just enjoy the company of their host. Here we are in the bedroom of the Yusupov Palace. Of course, it's one of the private rooms of the family, which you can enjoy during your tour of the Yusupov Palace. Now we're in the blue living room. Here you'll notice beautiful blue furniture, silk tapestries on the walls. This furniture and the tapestries are original to the Yusupov family. It wasn't damaged during the revolution. This beautiful red living room is also known as the Emperor's living room. During the time that the Yusupovs lived here, instead of the mother of the house being on the wall, you had the Emperor of Russia. Why a picture of the Emperor? Because Yusupov was part of the Russian court. Here in this hall is where the Yusupovsky children would learn to dance. You'll notice the rails along the side of the hall, along with the mirrors where the children could practice their dance moves. Here we are in the white column ballroom, with windows looking out onto the Moika. Now, this ballroom has very many interesting features. For example, take a look, please, at our beautiful chandeliers. Of course, one would think that chandeliers are made of metal and glass and wood, but these ones are actually specially made of paper mache so as not to disturb the acoustics of the room during concerts. This beautiful green hall used to be the exhibition hall of the Yusupov Palace. Here, more than 1,200 paintings were hung. Of course, during the revolution, many of them were stolen, and what was left was then taken over by the Hermitage Museum. We are now at the entrance of the private theater in the Yusupov Palace. What palace doesn't need its own special theater? Here we are inside the private theater of the Yusupov Palace. You'll notice that it's very proportional with the stage and parterre. Here you can seat 120 people. On the second levels, you can add up to 170. In front of me is the prince's private box, and to my left is a secret box for the emperor, in case he wants to see the opera, but doesn't want anybody to see him. Here we are in the wooden living room in the Yusupov Palace. It was often used by the Yusupovs for a dining room, and the food was brought to the room up on a dumbwaiter. The wood in this room is oak. You'll notice the oak paneling on the walls, the ceiling. It's quite a lovely composition, and in fact, the chandelier is also made from wood. On the table, you'll notice the legs and some of the chairs, some elements from the family shield of the Yusupovs. In Yusupov Palace, there are some special rooms that deal with the history of Rus Putin. He was a friend of the Tsar and the Tsar's wife, and he was murdered here within the walls of this palace. Here in the basement of the Yusupov Palace is where the murder of Rus Putin took place. First, it started with poisoned wine and sweets, which didn't actually work, so then they shot him, and then they put him in a bag and threw him in the Moika. When you visit St. Petersburg, you absolutely must visit Yusupov Palace. It's one of the most beautiful palaces within the city that has wonderful interiors that have been redone and also original.